Hi everybody, this is Great Jaguar, aka Donnell McCann, and I'd like to wish a happy Indigenous Peoples Day, not only to the Indigenous peoples here in the Americas, but to all Indigenous peoples in every continent across the globe. As an Indigenous person myself, I understand exactly what it's like to be legally pushed into the corners of existence, forced completely out of your element, and into systems and societies that have not had your best interest at heart. Back in 2007, the United Nations recognized that Indigenous peoples being forced to assimilate into foreign cultures was a critical centuries-old error that needed to be corrected quickly if we were to have a more perfect and righteous global society for the future. As a result, the nations within the UN created the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. This declaration, also known as UNDRIP, recognized that those who have kept their indigenous cultures and heritage in secret can now freely, openly, and lawfully practice it without any encumbrances from foreign governments. Also, those indigenous peoples who were utterly stripped of their rights, culture, and the remembrance of their heritage can now lawfully research, rediscover, and reclaim their indigenous heritage. Now, when the original vote for enacting the UNDRIP was cast between the 192 countries within the UN, the United States of America was unfortunately one of the 4 member nations that voted against it. However, over the years, the US has changed their tune and now honors the inherent rights that Indigenous people have. They've since vowed to work with Indigenous American individuals and groups to reestablish our own governments, heritages, and cultures, and to see to it that we are protected in doing so. Because of the UNDRIP initiative, I personally have benefited from researching, rediscovering, and reclaiming my Indigenous American identity and culture. Through the Aboriginal Ministry of Justice, I can now proudly, legally, and lawfully call myself an Indigenous American. Denationalization was a vicious yet effective tool used for the purpose of displacing Indigenous American peoples from their true identities. The colonizers were well aware that without the ability to connect to one's cultural essence, spiritual practices, and heritage, the Indigenous people's capacity for independence would be compromised. Then their land, natural resources, and even the people themselves could easily be confiscated. They'd be disconnected from their ancestral bonds and become codependent on foreigners to provide their needs for them. Colonialism takes everything but returns very little to the source, so Indigenous peoples were bound to suffer in every way imaginable. The Aboriginal Ministry of Justice exists to reverse the ill effects that hundreds of years of denationalization has caused to so-called blacks in America. While slavery, lynchings, Jim Crow, and countless other tools of oppression were employed to denationalize American Indigenous peoples, the Aboriginal Ministry of Justice acts as a medicine to those ancient unhealed wounds that American Indigenous peoples still carry. Now, specifically to those Black Americans, those from North, Central, and South America, and even the Caribbean, I deeply implore you to search yourselves, open your minds, and take a new and unbiased look into your history. You may be surprised to find that the age-old narratives we've been taught about who we are and where we come from may not actually apply to you. If you have in any way been denationalized through colonization or stripped of your original culture and heritage, I strongly recommend that you look into booking a free 15-minute consultation with the Aboriginal Ministry of Justice. They've been of great assistance to me and my family, and I'm certain that they can help you on your journey to rediscovering your true origins. You can visit aboriginalministryofjustice.org for more information, or you can find them on Facebook or Instagram under the same name. No matter your history, I wish nothing but blessings and love to you all, and once again, happy Indigenous Peoples Day.